And hello everyone, welcome to Rebel Finance School. We are super looking forward to the first session, the first prep session this year. So welcome to the start of something extraordinary. Let's get one thing clear from the very start of this course. You get to keep the problems you argue for. You can argue that your situation is too hard, too different, too stuck. You get to keep the problems you argue for. But if you're here because something inside of you whispers, maybe there's more for me, then you're in the right place.
And we know life can be overwhelming. You might be tired, you might be feeling like you're stretched really thin, you don't have the time and the headspace for this course. And you might be even thinking, is this actually even going to work for you? But we're here to tell you it's absolutely okay to feel that way and still start and still take that first step and come with us on Rebel Finance School. And you don't even have to believe it's possible yet. You just have to be open to it.
And today I'm going to challenge some of your most deeply held beliefs, and you get to decide. Will you defend your beliefs, defend the way you do things right now, or will you open the door to something new? Because if you've always done what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. And insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
So I have a question for you. Are you willing to be challenged? And we're going to do it from a place of love and having your best interests at heart. So if you are willing to be challenged, please type a Y for yes in the chat right now. Let's see.
Yes.
Are you willing to be challenged? I'm getting a bunch of yeses, a capital yes, Y-E-S. That's amazing. I love it. So cool to see that you're open and that you're ready, because we want permission to challenge your beliefs. And that's what tonight's all about.
Exactly. It'd also be quite awkward if you said no. The start of every journey starts with a choice to leave normal life behind and head off on an adventure. In the Matrix, this happened when Morpheus offered Neo the red pill or the blue pill. This is your Matrix moment, your red pill or your blue pill choice. Take the blue pill and you can return to familiar life, blissfully unaware of a different way of living, a different way of thinking about money, a different way to break free. It's the easier path. No action is required, and you'll fit right in doing what the masses do with their money. No looking back, no hard feelings. Or you can take the red pill and break free from the matrix. It's the unknown, the uncertain, the path less traveled. It won't be easy. It starts with the uncomfortable truths as you embark on a journey of self-discovery and financial enlightenment.
This is the start of the journey, that journey of self-discovery, empowerment, financial freedom. But you don't have to do it alone, because we're here with you every step of the way, and we love being here with you.
I think we know what it's going to be. Let's hope you're taking the red pill. If you're still in the chat, you probably are. If you're still watching on YouTube, you probably are. So let's get into this.
Because we've seen so many people argue for their limitations. But we've also seen what happens when they stop doing that, when they choose that possibility, when they choose themselves, and when they take action. And we're so happy that you're here taking action, being here tonight in this session.
Because you can tell us why this won't work for you, or you can ask, how might this work for me? The choice is yours.
All we need is a tiny window of possibility from you. Just a crack of a little opening. And then, should we dive through together?
Yes.
Let's do it. So I'm so excited for those of you that have decided to take the red pill and come on that adventure with us, because mixing metaphors, mixing movie references or popular culture references, we've got the Matrix moment, but we've also got a Mario moment of adventure awaits. Let's go! Dun, 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 dun. Am I allowed to do that, or am I going to get like...
I think, no.
Don't sing the Mario music.
So let's go on an adventure. Let's tackle the fear, tackle the reasons, and get going. So here are what you voted as the biggest things that are stopping you. So I think about 3,000 of you filled out the pre-course survey to tell us what your biggest fears are. So we read them all. We worked out what it is. The first one was, I don't know enough. I don't know enough about investing, SIPs, pensions. I don't have enough knowledge.
Other people said, this is beyond me, this is too complex, I'm not good at numbers and maths, that sort of stuff.
The third was, I don't have a plan. Don't have a plan to fix my finances.
The next one is, I'm behind in some way, I'm in debt, I don't have any savings, I've got a low income, my income's inconsistent.
I don't have time. I'm busy with work, kids, life. Like, how do I find time for you, Donegans?
Or I'm scared. I'm scared to take a look at how my finances are, or I'm scared of investing. It all seems a bit overwhelming and scary.
We also had one of two reasons, which was A, my partner's not on board, or B, I don't have a partner. And both led to people feeling like they were doing this on their own.
And then the final one, I'm too old. This is too late for me. Save the kids, but it's too late for me.
So those are the barriers. You won't have all of these barriers. At least I hope you don't have all 8. You've probably got 1 or 2 of them. But what we would love you to do is to stay engaged with the course. And if you have overcome one of these barriers, then please will you help the other people on the call. So put in the chat, put in the YouTube comments how you overcame that barrier, and that will help the other people to do the same.
We also wanted to say, we don't want you to take our word for any of this. If there's one of the barriers that you have and you're struggling to get over, we'd love you to ask in the Facebook group and find support from other people that may have overcome it in the past.
Because we have this amazing community of people, and I guarantee there are hundreds of them that have overcome the same barriers that you have. The next one is to turn the thing into a question. And this is one of the most important skills in life, to turn the problem into a question. So if your problem is, I'm bored at work, many people repeat, I'm bored at work, I'm bored at work, and then they end up really bored at work. But if you could turn that into question, how could I have fun at work? How could I get my job done and have more fun? You might start to find different answers.
The other thing we want you to do as you go along and look at these barriers is go, well, how might the opposite be true? So if it's something like, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to look at my finances, then that's exactly why you should be doing it, because by looking at your finances, you free up time and stress and be able to have more time. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but it's funny how that works.
Then, to solve any one of these barriers, we have the magic word you can add to the end of them, which is
yet. I love that word. It just opens up a world of possibility, and we'll give you examples as we go through.
So that's what we've got in terms of the overall ways to tackle barriers, and we're going to go into each of these as we do them. We are going to start with I don't know enough. So we're going to tackle that. We're going to tackle this one. What that means is I don't have enough knowledge, or I don't understand how to invest. Those are the main things people tell us. We're going to unplug from the slides so that you can see our faces as we talk you through this first one. Before we do, Chris asked a very important question, which is who's my favourite Guardian? Has to be Star-Lord, Chris. So there we go. Moving on. Let's go to the first one.
So I don't have enough knowledge. This is ripe for using the magic word at the end, which is yet. I don't have enough knowledge yet. And this word, it just changes how you feel about it. It's like, oh, yet. That means I'm going to, or that makes me think, oh, how might I get to the point where I have that knowledge? And that powerful 3-letter word, I love it.
The second thought we had for you is quite often what humans do is they repeat the problem or the story, and that gets us stuck even further. So we repeat, well, I don't have enough knowledge, and then we stop. I don't have enough knowledge, and then we stop. Angela says, definitely no clue here, but she did add yet to the end of it, which is fantastic.
Angela, you're picking up this quickly. You're a fast learner and you're going to go far. I love it.
So if we stop repeating the problem and we focus on what we do want, then we can move past it. And that's quite often how you get unstuck. And it's about what you're focusing on, because your focus determines your results. So if you focus on the problem, that's what you will get more of. If you focus on the solution, how might I learn about investing? How might I understand this whole new language? When Katie and Alan say SIPs and ISAs and index funds, how might I get to understand those words and even be excited about them eventually?
The other thing to do is like, what percentage of your time are you focused on the past and what's happened then versus what's happening in the future and what you want life to be like? And changing that focus from, okay, I am where I am, I've got to where I've got to in my life, whether I like it or not, this is where I am. And how am I going to move forward into the future and focus on gaining that knowledge that you think might be missing so far?
And I did want to say to you, the very best of us get stuck with stories that we've been trained in over many years. To give you an example of that, I recently had a St. James's Place advisor. St. James's Place? Boo. But we recently had a St. James's Place advisor who actually rung me and he said, I've just left as an advisor. I've been there 30 years and I've been indoctrinated into managed funds. And he actually had to unlearn everything he'd been selling and doing for 30 years to be able to change direction. And sometimes it's what we have to unlearn to give ourselves the freedom to move on to the next step. So, what do you need to let go of to unlearn to be able to move on and learn what you really need to learn?
And actually, if there's nothing that you need to unlearn because you've never looked at this area before, you are in an awesome place because you have that beginner's mindset where you can make progress quickly because you don't have any preconceived ideas of how things should be, which is really cool. I'm very excited for you.
The beginner's mindset is incredible. It is just such a lovely place to be, and it's so quick to be able to get going with that. So, what we wanted to say to you is if you don't have enough knowledge yet, you're in the right place. We have an entire 10-week course to take you through everything you need to know to get on top of your finances. All you need to do is trust the process, stay open, and keep coming to the course. That's it.
Okay, so the next one is I don't understand how to invest, which I get it. It's confusing, it's overwhelming. There's like this whole different language of finance that makes it feel inaccessible. But how do you learn a new language? You learn the words, right? And you look it up and you don't expect to be fluent from day one. And actually the finance industry wants it to seem complex to you so that you will pay them fees to help to get them to do it for you. But the course is going to take you through all of this step by step.
How do you eat an elephant? Please put it in the chat or put it in the YouTube chat. How do you eat an elephant? Did you have one for dinner? Have you ever cooked an elephant? I never have.
I think aren't they endangered species? And I don't think we should
definitely not be talking
eating elephants.
People are putting one bite at a time. Someone put, I'm a veggie. Yes, that's probably safer. But the general metaphor is you can tackle a very big project by taking one small bit at a time. That's the key to all of this.
Rachel said knife and fork.
I love that. Edna said, I like elephant-shaped cookies.
This is dark, people. This is dark. Start as we mean to go on this.
Okay, so you'll be amazed if we just chunk it down, start small and work through, we'll get there. What we want to say to you is we will be covering investing in week 6 of the course. And you might be going, week 6, Donegans? I need to move my ISA or my SIP now. The reason for that is we have to build up the foundations and we're all starting at different levels of knowledge. So we're going to start from the very beginning. Where does all the money go? Tracking the money, the mindset, talking about money and fixing all of those different stuffs that we build up to where we can tackle investing. So if there's anything you don't understand, just relax, stay with us, and it will build up as we go.
And you need those foundation weeks to make sure that you're ready for that investing part, which we always talk about getting onto the sexy stuff and people are itching to get into it. And I can see there's already been some questions in the chat about investing and what do I do with my money. And we also have to say, like, hold your horses, we're laying the foundations and we get to the sexy stuff in week 6, which is going to be so cool. And also we have this amazing community of people who have already figured it out. So A, it proves that it is possible to figure it out. And B, we've got this wonderful supportive community of people that are there together to help you along the way.
So what we wanted to say to you is, you know enough to start. Let's stop repeating the old story. Let's focus on the solution. Head into this with a beginner's mindset, open eyes, and energy. And we'll take it chunk by chunk. We have the beautiful community in Facebook, YouTube with the commenting, and we'll just trust the process and work through it. So there's the first one. I don't know enough. You know enough to start. You know enough.
I want to do this big like X, like goodbye barrier.
Okay. Second one, this is beyond me.
So within that, we've got it's all too overwhelming and complex, and I'm not good at maths, numbers, and spreadsheets. So let's take one at a time. First of all, that it's too overwhelming and complex. Maybe you're thinking things like, I don't understand pensions, this investing stuff is complex, tax is confusing, there's all this jargon and I don't get it. And it's so much easier just to ignore it and go, what's on Netflix tonight? I completely understand that. It's so much easier to just go and do something else. And it's not like urgent, is it? It's very important, but it's not urgent. So it's easy to put off. So what I would say to you when you have those feelings, they're very kind of tense, like tight thoughts, aren't they? So the first step is just to slow down, let those shoulders drop and
breathe.
Breathe. So just can you feel like I even feel myself a lot calmer, and I can feel that energy of like, okay, just take this one step at a time. I got my knife and fork out to eat my elephant. And
Cookie.
yes, big elephant cookie, thank you. And it can be complex, but we've got this wonderful man on our side. Because what's your superpower, Alan?
I love learning things and then breaking down and explaining it to people. That's what I enjoy doing. I've spent the last 20 years of my life figuring things out and then explaining it to other people. So that is what I'm going to dedicate my time and energy to doing for you. That's the plan.
Got Alan on our side, which is awesome. And with time and focus, we can figure it out together. Often it's so much easier, isn't it, to go like, oh, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to focus on it. But choosing to focus on it. And that's what you're here doing by coming on Rebel Finance Schools, which I'm so excited about to have you here. And we'll just figure it out together step by step. And we are absolutely in this together. We've got the Facebook group. Please join that if you haven't done so already. I know a lot of people are not the biggest fans of Facebook, but just have a profile so that you can participate in the group and you don't need to use Facebook in other ways. Just come and hang out. We've got 27,000 people in there, a lot of whom have done the course multiple times and just there wanting to help you.
There's some of the smartest people, they're way smarter than me, some of the smartest people around who will answer your questions and help you. The other idea I wanted to give you is AI is your friend.
Like an imaginary friend.
Pretty much. You can get it on your phone. Don't care which one you use, Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, or something else. I use Copilot. But it's an incredible thing to use, and what you can do is ask it to explain things to you in words that a 5-year-old would understand. So you can literally go in there and say, how do stocks and shares make money? Explain to me as a 5-year-old person, or as a teenager if you're feeling at that level of intelligence that day. But it's incredible the answers it gives, and it's your friend to chat to about this stuff. And then I've had a lot of fun with this. I say things like, I'm interested in Lego. Create an analogy between Lego and pensions, and then help me to understand pensions through the analogy of Lego.
I really love that one because then it helps you, it's in something that you're already interested in to learn it through that. That's very cool.
Yeah, obviously if you don't like Lego, put something else. I could see Sarah going like, Lego, what are you talking about, Alan? Like put in whatever you're interested in and use that as analogy, and it's an incredible tool for that stuff.
So that's it's too overwhelming and complex belief or barrier that we wanted to smash. Remember, if you've overcome this barrier through doing Rebel Finance School or something else, please put in the chat and help the new people that still are feeling that it's overwhelming and complex to share with them how you overcame that. What's the next one? Next one is I'm not good at maths or numbers or
But you're amazing at maths, Katie.
Yeah, I do quite like them. And I wasn't born that way. It's like, is there a maths gene? Are people born with it? Do some of us get it and some don't? Did I pop out of the womb? Yes, this is a picture of me and my brothers. Did I pop out and go, enough play, time for a spreadsheet.
I
No.
kind of can imagine that.
I wasn't born like this. This person was created for the better or worse. But how do you get good?
So I think the first step to getting good is an overarching belief that I hold dear, which is start by believing I can learn anything. I would like you to repeat after me now. I can learn anything. I can learn anything. Yes, even the people who aren't talking, I can see some of you.
I can see your lips.
I
We
can
can see
see
if they're
you.
moving.
I can learn anything. I can learn anything. Because you have to start with that belief. Because if you don't believe that, you'll never get to where you want to get to. And that is the foundational belief. Given time, I truly believe you can learn anything.
This is a paraphrase of a Henry Ford quote, which is whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. Have you ever seen a bus in the distance and it's the bus that you want to get, and you're like, oh, am I going to make that bus? And sometimes you think, I'm going to go for it. And you think, I'm going to run, I'm going to try and get that bus. Now, is it guaranteed you will catch the bus?
No.
No. But it also depends on the driver, doesn't it? Sometimes they see you coming and they're nice. Sometimes they see you coming and they're like, not today, love. But if you run for that bus, there is a chance you will make it. There's a chance you'll be successful. And that's what happens when you believe that it's possible. On the other hand, if you believe there's no chance you're getting that bus, what do you do about it?
You just give up.
You just give up and you don't try, right? Like you're just like, oh, okay, I'll just get the next one, or just walk slowly because there's no chance I'm going to get it. In that scenario, do you catch the bus?
No.
No. So it kind of reinforces that thing, right? It's like, oh, well, I didn't believe I was going to get it, so I didn't try and I didn't get it. And look, I was right. So whether you believe you can catch the bus, whether you believe you can learn anything, whether you believe you can learn spreadsheets and numbers and maths, or whether you believe you can't do any of those things, you are right. So which one are you going to choose to believe?
This is where people think we're frozen, but I was leaving a dramatic pause. Okay, moving on to the next little bit. We need to reframe this. I'm not good at maths with the magic word, which is yet. I can't do spreadsheets yet. It is all a learnable skill. You start by learning, and we have incredible resources for you. And then you practice, and you practice. And it is amazing where you get to with that practice. And we're in this together. We can do all of this together. You have an incredible Facebook group to help you through it. Katie has created with the Rebel Ninjas an entire bunch of spreadsheet templates, so you don't need to start from scratch. You're starting from a great position on that stuff.
And then we also have some resources that we made for people that want to improve those skills, that don't feel that they're good at spreadsheets yet. Please, ninjas, can you put in the chat the links to these resources? So we've got the Excel for Beginners course that we did a couple of years ago, and the Master Spreadsheets and Numbers workshop that we did last year. And it just starts from beginning and looks at how to think about numbers and how to use them in everyday life. And actually, throughout the course and with finances, it's not complex operations. We're not doing calculus and differential equations or algebra or anything like that. It's just plus, minus, times, and divide, but using them in different ways. And even a percentage is just a different way of doing a times calculation. Like it's not complex in the sense that you think back to school maths and thinking, am I going to have to do Pythagoras theorem and all that stuff? No, it's just a way of thinking about it, and we'll teach you how to do that throughout the course.
Now we're going to cut out to AI for a second, because I want to do an actual live demo with you right here to show this stuff, because AI is an incredible tool for understanding maths. So I was playing around and I wrote a prompt earlier. A prompt is just something you type in and it asks a question. A prompt is a question that you ask of AI.
Is there a way
the one I
zoom
wrote
in a bit on this so people can
we could possibly zoom in a bit like that.
There we go. Nice.
There we go. How much would I have if I invested £50 a week for 30 years and got a 10% return on investment, which is actually a question we get asked regularly. Can you show me the workings and explain to me in language a 5-year-old can understand how you got to the answer and what it means?
Oh, I'm excited to see what it comes out with.
So we're pressing go. This is a live internet. I am not responsible for what shows up here, okay? Just be very clear. So if it's just something weird,
Interesting things that have come up on a live demo before, haven't you?
we've had some interesting things. So if you invested £50 a week for 30 years, your money grows at 10% return per year. You would end up with £495,000, £673.03.
That's a decent
You're
chunk of
pretty much 500,000 with doing that. It's like an incredible thing. Then it's got the explanation how we got to that number. Let's break it down like we're talking to a 5-year-old, which is useful for me. Imagine you have a magic piggy bank. Every week you put £50 in it. You do this for 30 years. That's 1,560 weeks because there are 52 weeks in a year. That piggy bank is special. It doesn't just hold your money, it grows it a little bit every week.
Can I have a special piggy bank?
You do. It's called a Vanguard account with an index fund.
Oh.
That's exactly it. That's because it gives you a 10% bonus every year, which is like a little bit of extra money added each week, which is basically what you get on average by investing in stocks and shares. So over time, not only are you saving money, but your money is also making more money by itself. What this means to you, you would have put in £78,000 in total. That's 50 times the weeks. But because of the magic of compound interest, money growing on top of money, it turns into £500,000, 6 times more than what you put in. Then it says, would you like a chart or graph to show how it grows over time? Yes, I would like a chart, please.
Just going to interject with something. So if someone doesn't have £50 a week to invest, like, is that okay? And is this course for them, or is this only going to work for people who have £50 a week to invest?
It works for anyone.
Cool.
It works for anyone. This is just a number I stuck in. You could put in £1 a month. You could put in £10 a week. We can start wherever we want to start to. That was just a starting figure to see what would happen. And I love this because it's like, would you like a chart? I was like, yes, I would like a chart. It is now creating my chart, and there is my investment growth over time, and you can actually see it. Like, it's just an incredible tool for helping you to understand maths. So I really would encourage you to have a go with AI, because it's almost like a friend, a coach, a friend who never runs out of patience. I have endless patience for nearly everyone except my mum. I love her, but I really struggle with patience. I need to develop my patience more. But sometimes it's difficult to have patience with family, but AI never gets impatient with you, which is incredible.
Quite polite as well. Not only are they never lose patience, but they're very supportive and kind, aren't they? So that's awesome.
It is awesome. So there is the AI demo. We're going to come back to this, which is the summary of that one.
So just to remind you, this little section, we're talking about the 2 beliefs of this is like overwhelming and complex, and I'm not good at maths, numbers, and spreadsheets yet. So this is just rounding off that little section.
So use the magic word, I don't understand this yet. That is the magic word in all of this.
Gotta love that yet word. And then the other one is that to adopt that belief, I can learn anything. And whilst it might not feel true as you say it in the moment, but just starting to adopt that and think about using that in other areas of your life as well.
I will work through this slowly. I have Katie's spreadsheet. I have Katie's Excel course. I have AI on my side, and I have a supportive community around me. I've got this. I can do it. You definitely can. So there's the second barrier that we have gone through.
We do that next.
This is beyond me. That is just not true. You've got this. Right. The third one that people say to us is, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan, Donegans. Like, what do I do? I don't have a plan. I don't have a clear plan. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Where do I even begin, Donegans?
I think they've already begun, haven't they?
That's exactly it.
You're here. We're in the right place. You have begun. And that's the key, is taking that first step. Because imagine you were going to go on a drive, but you didn't start until all of the traffic lights were green, that you knew they'd be green to get to your destination. Would you ever leave?
You'd never go anywhere.
You'd never start, would you? Because you can't guarantee that. And that's the same with life. That's the same with anything that you embark on. You can't know the full path until you take that first step.
And then we really wanted to say to you, the course is your plan. So we have a 10-week course that will guide you through everything starting tomorrow night with Mind the Gap, which is how to work out where all your money's going. Then we move on to week 2, which is net worth. What have you got where? How do you build it up? And all of those elements.
Then we talk about how to smash any beliefs that you have around money that are holding you back and how to line up all the aspects of things to get you focused on where you want to go with your money.
If you have debt at the moment, week 4 is going to demolish that debt, smash it to pieces, and teach us the power of compounding, because compounding works against you if you have debt, and it works for you if you have investments.
So that part is in 2 parts. So please do also come if you don't have debt, because the compounding section really, it's very cool to show you how it works.
Then we're going to do money talks, because one of the biggest reasons for divorce around the world is money. So we're going to learn a little bit about talking about money, working together, all of that bits. And then we move on to the sexy stuff in week 6.
Yeah, we have 3 weeks of investing and talking about index investing, and then how to get going, practically speaking, opening accounts and getting going.
Can you see how this is building as a plan? And then we get to week 9, which shows you how to future-proof your finances and as you transition to retirement. And then finally, week 10 is the grand finale, where we look at all of the maths and numbers that shows you a retirement date, how you can build up your finances and get to it. So we have designed this with you in mind. We also have bonus weeks this year, which are on drawdown, financial forecasting, and so much more. We got excited and planned a lot.
We accidentally turned it into a few extra sessions, didn't we? But it's to fill in the things that people always ask us for, don't they? And that drawdown we've been promising for a couple of years. So it was time to deliver on that one.
So if you've caught yourself saying, I don't have a plan, breathe, and let's just follow the process. We have laid this out. We've been running it for 6 years now and helped 40,000 people with their finances. So let's just work through it slowly together. And if you want a little bit more on what the plan actually is, step 1.
Create a gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then do something with that gap. So another way of saying this is spend less than you earn. And I know that there's some of you listening that that's not true for you yet. And week 1, we're going to go through all of how to do that. So if you're thinking, but I don't even spend less than I earn yet, we've got you. Week 1 is where to come for that.
Then what do you do with the gap? We have a simple process. Step 1, build up a £1,000 emergency fund. Step 2, pay off expensive debt, which to us is anything over 5 or 6% interest rate. Step 3, increase your emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of no frills living expense. And we're going to explain all of this on the course. And then step 4,
invest in assets. Now, this is the whole course, so don't expect to understand exactly what we mean by this. And also, I don't want you to get put off by saying that the first step is to get to £1,000.
What do you want?
I want you to know that this is a process and it might take you time to get there. And we're not expecting you to magic £1,000 up from the back of the sofa. This is a process. This is just showing you the whole process. And it might take you a while to do that first step, and that's okay.
So many people say to us, like, wealth is just luck. The only ways to get wealthy are inheritance, build a business, win the lottery, or some other thing that magically you get given money by mistake.
By mistake? By luck.
Is that true, Katie?
No, it's not true. It's a process, and we've guided 40,000 people so far through that process through Rebel Finance School, and we're excited to have you here for 2025.
So I would like you now, please, to repeat after me. I know if you're on your own in a room, it'll be a bit weird, but believe me, it's worth it. So repeat with me. From personal experience and testimonials, we have enough information to conclude that it is possible to improve your financial situation. What does that mean? It means that we have so many examples of people who have done exactly what you want to do and we know it is possible. So we're just going to go and do it. And I have this expression that the ideas are reserved for the curious, not those who complain, not those who hope, and not those that wish. So you have to just be curious, and the ideas will be there for you. So this section, the idea is I'm getting curious. The course is the plan. Sequence matters. Like if you've got a phone number and you dial the numbers in the wrong order, you will get through to someone called Dave, not who you were ringing. So you have to like follow the process in the order and then you'll get the results. So you follow the plan. People have done this before. Wealth is definitely a repeatable process, and we have an amazing community around us.
Which you might be thinking, well, I can't do that plan that you've laid out for me because I don't have that gap between what I'm earning and what I'm spending.
Which is actually conveniently the next barrier, which is I am behind.
It's as if we planned that.
It's almost as if we plan that. And people say, I don't earn enough, I have high expenses, I have inconsistent income, kids are expensive, I'm in debt, I don't have any money, I don't have savings. Like this was a big section of barriers to people getting going. So let us break out to the Donegans. We're going to work through these and help you with them all.
So the first one, let's look at I don't earn enough. I'd love you to put in the chat how you might tackle this one. What are the ideas that you have, whether you've overcome this one yourself, or what ideas you might have for our new friends that are joining the course? How have you, or how would you tackle this one of I don't earn enough? What would you say?
I'd love to know. Get a higher paid job, get a pay rise, sell anything that's not in use. Yes, anything that is not pinned down, sell it. I love it.
What about humans?
Rachel says take in a lodger, look for a higher paid job, do overtime, review subscriptions, increase your self-esteem or self-worth. I love that.
Over on YouTube, we've got have a second job, a second part-time job, sell stuff, get a side hustle, find ways to earn more. Jane suggests selling the kids. Jane, that's dark and I love it. Raphael, review whether you spend sensibly in all areas.
Exactly. There's buy less, there's earn more. There's so many different ways to tackle this. Now, just highlighting some of the things we already know, you get to keep the problems you argue for. And people tell us all the time, I'll never earn more because I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, like I'm trapped in that pay scale. And there are always ways around it. So what you need to do to start with is turn it into a question, how might I earn more? And you can earn money outside teaching. You could earn money tutoring. Dominic just put in the chat, I did a car boot sale today and earned £100 from selling stuff. Hopefully it was your stuff, Dominic.
You did speak to sell anything that isn't nailed down.
I did. I meant like if it's not yours, ask for permission. Consent is sexy. Okay. So step one, add yet. Step two, let's start to look at how might we do it. And we definitely have enough evidence and testimonials to prove it is possible to earn more. And I have this expression of you can have anything you want in life if asterisks, you're willing to pay the price up front and in full. Because pretty much everything in life has a cost. And the cost doesn't have to be money. It can quite often be time, energy, creativity, curiosity. The cost can be other things. But if you're willing to keep asking the question and pay the price to be able to earn more, you will be able to do it. I truly believe it is possible for you.
What you're saying is like you don't get the money and you don't get those improvements until you do something differently, which is like paying the price, but it's just thinking creatively, doing something differently. It's not like it comes first. You have to kind of put all the effort in and then you get the reward, or you get the reward as you go and you have to start and do something.
It's quite interesting. Recently, I've had a few people who've said to me, if you pay me more, I will do more. And that's quite interesting. It's almost like pay me first and then I'll show you the results. Quite often it works the other way around in life. If you show the results, people are like, wow. Then you have to ask for what you want. You don't often get the pay rise without asking for what you want. That is still critical, but you have to ask for what you want. So we need to be creative and come up with ideas. And if this is your challenge, I need to earn more, I don't think I earn enough. What I have for you is something that I would like you to do for the next 10 days. For the next 10 days, every day, I would like you to ask the question, how might I earn more? Ask it of yourself, ask it of your friends, ask it in the Facebook group, ask it like brainstorm in the morning, get out the notebook, ask the question and then write down all of the ideas you have. Ask AI, go to ChatGPT, Copilot, ask it and collect ideas. It is amazing what ideas you will come up with. Because if the issue you're facing is, I don't earn enough, then that's where we need to focus. And where focus goes, energy flows, and that's how we break through those elements.
And we have a couple of resources for you. So we did a workshop on how to build a side hustle, and we did a workshop on how to break free of the salary trap and earn more money as well. And the ninjas have been putting the links in the chat. So thank you for that, ninjas. What's a ninja?
A ninja is a volunteer that helps us to run Rebel Finance School, which is incredible. Thank you to the ninjas for helping us run this. They are amazing. With nearly 18,000 people signed up to the course this year, Katie and I can't cope on our own. So this team of us work together to do it. So we love the ninjas. One thing to highlight from a comment on YouTube, student says, shouldn't the question be, how can I earn more whilst maintaining work-life balance? That is a question. You might actually ask, how can I earn more money and double the fun I have? But you can get creative with the questions. How could I earn more and add more value to the world? How can I earn more, have more fun, enjoy myself more? There are questions you can ask, and that will help you to get the answers you want. So that's a fantastic point from student. Okay, we're going to move on to number 2, which is I have high expenses. High expenses, Katie.
To which I might say, do you? Now, at Rebel Finance School, we're not one to compare pineapples, but it is good to have a benchmark. So what do families spend in the area that you live in on average? Are your expenses actually high? And what could you learn from the people around you that are spending less? And I'd like that to lead on to, do you actually know what you're spending? Is there this feeling that you have high expenses without actually looking at it? And that is what we're doing on week 1 of the course. So when you come along tomorrow night to the first session of the main content, that's what we're going to be looking at. And you remember the whole cost of living crisis thing, which like is still going on, but when it was first mentioned, 2-3 years ago, I thought, oh, like we're not going to have anything to add to people when we tell them about looking at their expenses and tracking where their money's going. Because I had this assumption that because of this crisis, because of the fact that the cost of living was going up, everyone surely must have gone line by line through their expenses to see where their money's going and to understand how they might cut back. And then it became apparent through doing the course that year that that wasn't the case. So what I'd say to you is the very first step when you have this belief of I have high expenses is to actually look and see what they are. That's the very first step, and that's what we'll be doing in week 1 of the course.
So let's stop accepting the story and look at the real numbers and the data. So we're going to stop repeating I have high expenses, even though we might, and we're going to look at the actual data and work out. Then we can start to get creative. One of the ways is you might actually feed your spending data to AI and say, give me 10 ways I can reduce this. You might do many different things, but a lot of the time it's about being creative to be able to save money. We're so excited about this stuff. To give you an example, we have an article coming out, hopefully in the next few days, if I can find the time, which was written by a lady who came on the course. The 3 biggest costs in anyone's life are transport, food, and accommodation. Those are the 3 biggest categories in nearly all people's lives. and this lady had not spent any money on food for 2 years.
So she just didn't eat anything for 2 years?
No, she ate really well, but she didn't spend a single pound on food.
Wow.
That's one of the biggest costs out there, which is unbelievable. So we will have that coming out with exactly how she did it. So watch out for the article. It'll explain all. You can downsize the bike. You can downsize the car. You could cycle to work instead of taking the car. There's housing if you live in a high cost of living area. Have you considered moving? There's being a property guardian. There's house hacking, which basically means renting out a room or different things. But there are so many different ways to reduce expenses.
There was Chanda in the chat said childcare is another big expense as well. And if you're watching this, our friends across the pond in the US, there's also healthcare costs as well. So there are some, depending where you are in the world and your circumstances, there might be other categories that are up there with the highest expenses. And that's something that you'll discover when you do that analysis of where's my money actually going. So I'm really interested to find what you discover.
And people in general think that it costs a certain amount of money, whether it's living in the UK, the USA, or New Zealand, or anywhere. There's like a certain amount of money it costs. But we have met incredible people who live unbelievably fulfilled and joyous lives on less money. And it's about how creative we're going to get.
So we've got all those resources for you, which are excited to give.
Now we're going to move on to kids are expensive. I have kids, nursery fees, family expenses, single parents. Kids can be expensive. They can actually be as expensive as you want them to be.
Exactly. And what I really want to encourage you to do, depending obviously on the age of your kids, is to recruit them into this process. And are the things that you're spending money on for them, I don't know if they've got hobbies and activities and things like that, that discretionary stuff, do they actually like those things that you're spending the money on for you? What do they actually want? What do they value? And we're going to talk in week 5 of the course about doing your monthly finance meeting. Recruit the kids into that. Here's what we earn. Here's what we're currently spending. How do you think we should be allocating those resources? What do you think we could do without as a family and not sacrifice enjoyment or happiness? Because there's plenty of things I'm sure all of us do that we're spending. We're like, I'm actually not getting any value out of this.
Exactly. And we had a fantastic email from a past participant in the course. She said she was playing the album and the course in the car as she went on long car journeys with her teenagers in the back. They were a captive audience. They had to listen. They were basically forced to listen to Rebel Finance School in the back of the car. And then she got out to go for a coffee in the services one day, and the kids were like, "What are you doing, Mum? We need to work on the gap. Let's drink tap water." So they got indoctrinated in the back of the car into listening to this and the album and all the different bits. But maybe you can get the team together and listen to this stuff and start working on it. And maybe the kids will become your biggest ally instead of not really understanding what's going on in the household. And I think it'll really, really bring you together. And I wish I'd known more rather than my parents hiding it from me when I was a kid. I really wish I'd known more.
It's really cool because they start to think more creatively as well. So they were having tap water with their meals when they're on their road trip. And also they started eating their breakfast. They bought stuff from the supermarket rather than paying for the expensive hotel breakfast with not even any like sacrifice in pleasure. And it becomes this fun game to play with the kids as well, doesn't it? Of like, ooh, how might we have more fun and spend less at the same time? It's a very cool game.
Exactly. The other thing we did wanted to say is we do have the evidence and the testimonials to prove that getting on top of your finances is possible, even with kids. We met a couple in Manchester who have 6 kids. Yes, you heard that right, 6 kids, and retired in their 40s. It's possible. It is possible. So we just need to work through this. So let's turn it into a question. How might we have more fun for a family for less money? How might we create lifelong memories for the kids without busting the bank? So let's work on working out how we do this together because we are all in this together as a team. The next one in this section is I'm in debt. Is this course for me if I'm in debt, Katie?
Yes, it is, Alan, because we have that whole week on about debt. And it's like people saying, well, I can't do the time management course because I don't have any time. That's what people said to you, didn't they, when you ran your time management
I
course?
used to run time management courses and they just say, I don't have time for you, Alan. I'm like, that's why you should go on the course. What are you talking about?
This course has been designed for you, for anyone, any starting point. So if you're in debt, you're in the right place. And we have worked very hard to come up with a strategy which we will teach you as the quickest way out of that debt. And once you're out of that debt and you understand how to use your money effectively to get out of debt, you're going to accelerate your progress so quickly when you're investing it as well, because you understand how to use that money working for you. It's such a cool thing to do.
And having that vision of where you move forwards to. Sometimes people stop at week 5 or week 4 when they do the debt week because they're like, I won't watch anymore until I've done the debt bit. What we would say is watch the whole course because it gives you the full picture. And what we want to do is to stop yo-yo dieting or yo-yo debt. What I mean by that is you kind of get out of debt and then you go back to the same behaviors and go back into debt. And that's what people do with diets all the time. They diet for a period of time, then they go, I've hit my target weight, I can go back to my old behaviors, and then they go back to the weight they were before. So we need to stop the yo-yoing and make sure we have that plan to go forwards afterwards, and it will create massive momentum.
Please put in the chat if you have had debt before and you've got out of it and stayed out of it, or if you're on your way smashing through that debt. What tips could you share with people? Please put them in the chat of how you did it, what changes you made, what mindset shifts you had. How did you make that change from being in debt to on your way to being debt free or being debt free? What did you do?
Justine in the chat on YouTube says, do you need to clear debt before starting on any investment portfolio? Our answer to that is yes, we should clear high interest rate debt first. What does high interest rate mean?
It means anything above about 5 or 6%. And that's important to get rid of that because that's like an anchor holding you back before you can start getting into investing. And we'll go through the steps of how to get to the point where you're ready to invest in week 2 and beyond.
Exactly. Catherine says, what about mortgage debt?
All depends on the interest rate, Catherine.
Yes, so if it's a lower interest rate, you are probably far better off not paying it off and investing instead.
Just to clarify, not overpaying. Please do continue to make your mortgage payments.
So your house may be at risk if you don't continue to pay mortgage payments.
Which ties in with something Sadia asked on YouTube. Will we be discussing mortgage freedom, which is mortgage overpayment? We do come onto that, don't we, in the later week?
We do, and whether it is a good thing for you financially or not.
So we've got a couple of people that have put how they got out of debt. So thank you so much for sharing. That's what's so important about this community. We all share our knowledge and what we did to help each other. So Jane said, I was in debt, a single parent. I cut everything to the bone, paid every extra penny to debt, and I took on lots of overtime too.
Jane smashed it.
She smashed it. Yes, Jane.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next one, which is I don't have any money, I don't have any savings, therefore I can't get on top of my finances, which we're kind of back to that idea of I can't do the time management course because I don't have time, I can't do the money course because I don't have money. Like, that's the reason you need to do the course, is it will help you get the money in order. And this course starts from the very beginning, breaking the barriers like today, breaking the assumptions, and then builds up.
And there's no assumption that you have any money when we start. This isn't a course that it's only for you if you have X pounds or X dollars or X whatever. No, it starts right from the very beginning and teaching you how to create that gap between what you earn and what you spend, which is the foundation of everything we talk about.
Now, a little bit from me, quite often I used to help people start businesses and they would say, I just don't have the motivation, Alan. And they'd be sat on the couch, like sat back, don't have the motivation. I'm waiting for motivation to hit me. If you wait for motivation to hit you, how long will you be waiting? Forever. Like it doesn't hit motivation, it's not actually out there. Where does motivation come from? It comes from inside you. And you don't get motivated to do something, you get motivated by doing something. So you have to start. That is the key bit. Taking action, starting, doing the stuff, making notes, coming up with ideas, taking action. That's how you create motivation. And you have motivation because it is a Sunday night and you are hanging around with us tackling your finances. So that is the key bit. Just taking action will change things for you. And it's the same with money. Like, I want the money before I take the action to get the money. No, we have to do this and really work on it, and then the money will show up. So if you don't have money or savings, who cares? Let's start and create it with you, for you. You can build it for yourself because you can do anything.
So Anne-Marie said, just know that you can change your situation, creativity in how you think, and it happens, which is so cool. And we've had a few, I think we've got people thinking a lot about this. Should I overpay my mortgage? And Nikki was saying, like, they're really enjoying like the mental joy of smashing through the mortgage. Watch this space. We're going to talk through all of this stuff. But there is a lot of people get so excited about overpaying their mortgage, and
We did
as well. We didn't know what else to do with our money, and then we learned about investing and how that might get us further ahead overall. And we're going to do a lot on that, firstly in week 2 when we talk about what most people focus on with that gap, and then later on when we look at investing as well. So it's all laid out for you, and I promise that we'll cover it in the course.
Yes, I'm so tempted to tell everyone now, but don't.
I think
week 2.
Yes, yeah. Otherwise, we'll just repeat
Yes,
the whole course.
be it week 2. Be it week 2. Okay, so a couple of resources for you for this particular part. Number 1 is the Create a Side Hustle You Love workshop. A side hustle just means a thing you do on the side to generate more money. It's like a small business, but creating something to bring you more money. I did an entire workshop on that for you. So there's a 90-minute workshop about that. We also have a second one, which is called Salary Trap. It's how to break free and boost your income. And it has 10 different ways you can increase your income and the best ideas we could possibly gather on earning more, which there are 2 ways to get ahead in this finance game. Number 1, reduce your expenditure. Number 2, increase your income. And there is a floor to what you can spend. Like, you can't spend less than a certain amount.
Yeah.
Maybe it's £10. But there is a floor to what you can do, but there is no ceiling to how much you can earn.
That's exciting.
And then the next one is Living Large on a Small Budget. Our friend Laura ran us a fabulous workshop with all the different ways of how you can do more, travel more, experience more, and see more for less.
So let's wrap this section up, Alan. This is the one that, refresh your memory. This is, I'm behind, I'm in debt, I don't earn enough, I don't have any savings, I don't have any money to be starting with, and
Yet.
So we're starting now, you don't have it yet. There's loads of people that have done the course and in the world in general that have started that way and then figured out ways how to earn more, figured out ways how to look at their spending differently.
And I want you to say to yourself, I can be flexible. I can be creative. I focus on the solution. I turn my problem into a question, and you can collect ideas. Ideas are available to the curious. And I will not accept my old stories. I will have fun reducing my spending. I will slay my debt, and I will not stop until I have got on top of my finances. It just makes me excited doing this right now. We can do this.
Shall we put a big red X on the next one?
I'm behind. You can definitely get ahead if you do it. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is I don't have time. And people say to us, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough energy. Life's too busy. Kids are everywhere, which when I read that one, I was like, wow, how many kids do you have? I'm exhausted. Those were the sentences that were said to us with this one. So what we're going to do right at the start is a little experiment and a poll. I would like you, please, now to get your phone out. Where's my phone? I'm going to get my phone. I'm going to reach across Katie.
That's my phone.
Get your phone out right now. And then what you want to do is to look up how much time you've spent on your phone in the last week. On average, how long do you spend on your phone? If you have an iPhone, it's called screen time. So you can literally go to the settings and type screen time, and it will show you the average daily amount of time you spend on your phone. What's the other one? Android. What's the other one? Android.
Shows which one you have.
Derek is laughing a lot at me then. Like, what are these other phones? Look up on Android how much your time, someone I'm sure can put it in the chat as well. But I would love to know how many hours a day you spend on your phone. We've got the vote in Zoom coming in now. The QR code here takes us to a Google form.
Yeah, so if you're in Zoom, please just do the poll, which is on the screen. If you're on YouTube Live or you're watching on Catch Up, please scan the QR code, or the link is in the description for the video, and I'm about to put the link in the chat if someone has not already done so, but I will also do it for the YouTube chat.
So we would really love you to do this. Even if you're watching on catch up, like, this is an important part to be really engaged with this. How much time on average do you spend with your screen time? At the moment, we have 29% is 1 to 3 hours. 35% is 3 to 5 hours a day.
It's a chunky amount of time, isn't it?
That is a chunky amount of time. Imagine what you could do if you applied that to your finances.
We've got some very exclamative, I don't think that's a word, but some reactions of OMG, far too much. OMG, too much screen time for me.
Lee's like 6.5 hours, cry face. Norfolk Paul, love you, nice to see you. He says too long, just too long. Janice says 2 hours a day minimum. Lisa's doing pretty good at 47 minutes. Katie's phone, if you would like to know, says 2 hours 42 minutes a day.
It's telling everyone there. 2 hours, yeah, 2 hours 24.
And that's 11% down from last week.
Oh, very good. Too much time playing the games and
yeah.
the puzzles.
So, like, what we wanted to do to start with this bit is, does time on your phone make you feel better? After you've spent time on your phone, do you feel like you have more energy? Do you feel like you're more alive? Or do you feel even more tired? Like, how do you feel after time on your phone? Because it's one of those things that actually, you spend time on your phone, you spend a lot of time on it, but it doesn't actually create more energy. Sean, iPhone on YouTube. Lindsay says not more energized, worse, much worse. Like, it takes away your energy. So not only are we spending lots of time on it, but it's also stripping us of energy that we could be spending on other things.
It's that thing, isn't it, where you're like, oh, I'm kind of drained. I don't really feel like doing a thing. I'll just like faff on my phone. And you think, oh, it's because I'm tired, but then it just makes you feel worse, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It just makes you feel worse, which is not good for anyone.
So what's the point of this, Alan? What are we saying?
The point on this is nearly everyone has time. What they don't have is energy. So, like, imagine you come home from a busy day at work or whatever it is. You come home, you feed the kids, you do a load of extra work, and then you sit on the couch exhausted at like 9 o'clock at night. Do you have time? Yes. Do you have energy? No. And quite often we have the hours in the day, but we don't have the energy. And that's when we end up watching Netflix, ending up surfing on our phone, doing stuff, Facebook, doom scrolling, because we don't have the energy to do what we really need to do. So what I think we need to do is focus on building our energy, creating energy, getting off the phone and focusing that energy on the thing that we really want to move in life, which is our finances.
So how do I get more energy if I don't have any?
Drugs.
You heard it here first, everyone. Which drug specifically, Alan?
Caffeine. No, I'm kidding. You don't need that. What the keys to energy are: number one, your physiology. So if you sit slouched or you lie on a couch, you will feel exhausted. So if you can sit up, if you can move, if you can breathe deeply, I can see people on Zoom sitting up now, which I love. It will give you more energy. Number two is sleep. How many hours a day are you sleeping? Are you getting good sleep? Because if you don't sleep well, you will not have the energy in the hours you are awake. Number three is diet. What are you eating? Are you having sugar? Do you like M&S biscuits a little bit too much like I do? Like, what are you eating? And is that food energizing you or clogging you? Because it'll only do one of the two things. And then we've got exercise. I don't care what age you are, exercise will help get the blood moving, your brain going, and build the energy. Andrea says my downfall is only 6 hours sleep a night. Yeah, you're gonna struggle with energy the next day. I always do.
I love this in the chat. Frenchie says, much prefer to go for a walk, watch the sun come up, the birds fly, and clear my head for the day, which is the twofold thing, right? It's like, A, you're not just on your phone, and B, it's that exercise thing. And often we find that, don't we? We're tired and we're like, the last thing you want to do is leave the house and go for a walk, but you feel so much better. And it's that counterintuitive thing that actually spending energy gets you energy. And of course, that's not always true. There's times when you are genuinely exhausted and you need to just rest. But often what we found is the more energy we spend and we give, we get it back tenfold.
Exactly. Tricia says she started jump skipping today, which I love. But that exercise, that movement will definitely help you. And I can see the Rebel Ninjas have gone into a little bit of a tailspin because they're like, hashtag legalize drugs. Alan is talking about caffeine here.
Yes. We're just joking. Please keep it clean, everyone.
So the way to get that energy and use the time you've actually got is to build the energy. You've got the time. Ditch the phone, ditch Netflix. Let's spend the time doing the finances that you really want to do. And the progress you will make is unbelievable.
I did want to say as well, there is an upfront cost of time and energy to sorting out your finances. But once you've done that and you've automated things and you know where you are and you've got it structured, actually it doesn't take that much time once you've done that initial energy. And that's what we're saying about everything you want in life, you get if you're willing to pay the price up front and in full. So yes, it does take time, effort, energy in the first place, but then it doesn't take that much time to maintain it. And we talk about the monthly finance meeting, which is your mechanism for doing that. And we'll talk about that in week 5 of the course.
I think I can see Lynette eating a pizza whilst we talk about diet.
Shaking her head.
She's shaking her head. No, it's not. Okay, I jumped to conclusions.
Drinking a glass of wine.
Okay. So the final part of this is turn the challenge into a question. So the challenge is, I don't have enough energy. The question is, how might I find time and energy to become a financial wizard? What do I need to cut out of my life to make space for what's important? Like if we turn our challenge into a question, we can come up with answers, we can start to solve it, and we can make huge progress with this.
So are we ready to X through that one, Alan?
Yes, we are.
So just to wrap up that one of I create time and energy, it's something that you create within yourself rather than looking for it outside. So this is about looking after your health, creating that energy in your body from the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you go for a walk, rather than getting out your phone and doom scrolling, and focusing on what's important, which just gives you more energy anyway, doesn't it?
Exactly. You are the master of your destiny. You choose what's important to you, focus on what is important, pay the price to set up your finances and the goals. And we really do believe you can achieve anything if you put your energy into it.
That one on focusing what's important is, well, there isn't time to do everything, but there always is time to do what's important.
Exactly. You can't do it all, but you can do what's important. So hopefully you had a little shock when you look at your phone time, and that is enough of a shock to go, let's invest this in what we need to do. So we're going to cross that one out.
Goodbye.
And we'll move on to an actual critical one, which is I am scared. I am scared of investing. I'm not confident. I'm scared of investing. What if I lose money? What if I get it wrong? What if I mess it all up? Which is a question we have all asked ourselves at a certain time. So let's go to that one. What's the first point, Katie?
The first point is a story about your mum,
Ah,
which I'll let you do.
probably wise. Just to clarify up front, I love my mum. She is amazing. She is also afraid of technology. I don't know if you know anyone like this, but as soon as you put something in front of her, they're just like, I can't do tech. Tech is not my friend. I'm scared of it. And immediately freeze over, like tense up. The stress comes. And I then have to try and work really hard to be a calming influence for my mum to help her breathe and relax. And when she gets into that state, she can't even read what's on screen. So we end up pressing the wrong buttons and the tech doesn't go anywhere. And I really want to help her just to relax and we read through it slowly and work on it. But mum has that reaction to technology right at the start that makes it difficult to be able to use it. So, fear can absolutely stop us from showing up at the best version of ourselves. So we need to find a way to relax into it, especially because technology is not going to kill you. It's not going to damage you. We can relax our way through it. Investing, like once we've got to it, it's actually quite simple. And we just need to work through it. And confidence is developed through learning and action. So if we can get in the game, slowly work through it and start to take action, it's amazing how we will start to feel more confident with it. But we can't feel confident until we've slowed down, breathed, learnt, and started to take action.
And people come to this and say, yeah, but like investing, that's scary. What if I lose money? What's going to happen? And actually, fear sometimes is a good thing. It keeps you safe.
Yes.
A fear of snakes is good if you don't know which snakes are poisonous and you can't tell from looking. It's probably quite a healthy strategy to be scared of all snakes, particularly in the UK. We don't really see snakes that often, so it's not really affecting your life. But
I have no idea which ones are poisonous, which ones aren't.
It's kind of this healthy strategy to be scared
Afraid.
of all of them. And when it comes to investing and when it comes to money, you absolutely should be scared of some things. You should be scared of scams. These things, this healthy fear will keep you safe and keep you skeptical. But by coming on this course, we're teaching you which ones to be scared of, which ones to be confident about. And we were scared when we started. You were completely put off investing, weren't you?
This was one of my biggest fears. Like, this was me. I invested my life savings at the peak of the dot-com bubble. My dad invited an independent financial advisor round. He turned up in the drop top car. He had the fancy suit on, and he persuaded me to invest my entire life savings in an active tech high growth fund right before the dot-com bubble, and my life savings collapsed in value by 90%. I lost a fortune that could have been an amazing house deposit, and I was scared of investing in the stock market for 13 years afterwards. And I'm sure you've all experienced the stories, like Uncle Gerald had shares in these businesses and he lost a lot of money in the stock market. Aunt Jemima invested in an African mining company and lost all the money. And there's all these stories out there that say the stock market is risky and dangerous. And that is exactly what I believed for 13 years.
Then what happened?
Then I learned a bunch of stuff and realized there was more than one way to invest in the stock market. There was actually, broadly speaking, 3 ways to invest in the stock market. I tried one and failed, and then that caused me a huge problem, and I just wrote off the entire of the stock market without properly learning it. So my route out of fear was learning. I read books, I met people who'd done it. That was my route out of fear, and that helped me to change my focus to focus on what I did want. Because so many people, when they're afraid, focus on what they don't want, which actually ends up creating it.
The other thing that I've found really helpful is to clearly define the fear. What specifically are you afraid of? Are you afraid of making a mistake and pressing the wrong button? Are you afraid of losing all your money? Are you afraid of making a mistake and looking foolish in front of other people? Like, what is it that you're afraid of? And then we can examine that in the light of day rather than it being this kind of nebulous thing that you haven't properly defined. And then you can start asking people about it as well. Once you know exactly what it is that we're up against, it's like defining the problem, defining the challenge allows us to then deal with it.
And what we found really interesting is that people create what they're afraid of. And what I mean by that is we've met so many people that are afraid of losing money in the stock market. What they do is they keep their money in cash under the bed in safe places, and that doesn't grow as fast as inflation. So they actually guarantee a loss compared to inflation. So it's really interesting. People create what they're afraid of. They're afraid of failing in business, so they do weird things, which creates it. They're afraid of losing money, so it creates it. What we need to do is take action, learn, change our focus to what we do want to create, and ask for help and support from the community when our doubts come up. Because it is okay to have doubts. We need to talk about them, overcome them together, and make progress.
And in the course, when we do come to talk about investing, we start from the very beginning, just like we do with all aspects of money, personal finance in the course. So we don't assume that you know anything about anything when it comes to investing. We don't, anytime that there's even a sneak of jargon coming in, we catch ourselves and we explain what it means, or we invite you to say, hang on, what does that word mean? And we start right from the very beginning with no assumed knowledge whatsoever.
Exactly. And there's a few people saying, like, this is the one, this is the fear, losing money, not having enough to retire on, losing money is the fear. Well, this is the one we need to tackle and dispel, and the course is going to help you do that. If you've done the course and you still feel the fear, what do you need to do? This is the interactive part of the workshop. Please tell me, what do you need to do? If you've done the course and you still feel fear, what do you need to do? I want to know.
What have we got? What are people saying?
Beverly says, I was blown away when Katie and Alan taught this stage. Fear was removed. I loved watching the recent drop. Well, that's
Interesting,
awesome.
Beverly. That's awesome.
SRF says, turn it into a question. Ray says, do it anyway. Paul says, try small and build up later. Matt says, continue to learn. Sean says, ask the community for help. I love that, Sean. Do it anyway. Agaliki says, do it again. That can help, definitely. I think asking, these are great ideas. Terry says, breathe on YouTube. Vicky says, do the course again. Georgina says, take action. Yeah, it's like listening to the group and taking action, asking, helping. You've got so many different tools now of how to do this. And I think that's what we actually wanted to do with this initial workshop, is give you the tools to be able to overcome this. Chris says, pair up with someone else. I love that. We had a huge number of people last year pair up to do their monthly finance meetings, to talk about it, to work on it. Rack says, education removes fear. Yes. Ricky actually uses a fear one on himself, which I love. I do this. What are the consequences of not doing it? That is a fabulous question. Fabulous question. Alistair's here. Lindsay's brother says EFT tapping. That's another way of doing it. We have so many tools to overcome fear and make progress. And that's what we want to do. So let's wrap up the fear section. The whole point of this is to work to become confident with what you're doing. So to work to be able to say, I am confident, I will follow the course. Fear is sometimes useful. So there are certain investments we want to be afraid of, such as St. James's Place. Be very afraid of them, boo, run away. Dom laughed at that one, I'm very happy. Knowledge dispels fear. You can learn anything and just do the course, the investing weeks, slowly go through it, focus on your goals, and if you have doubts, reach out to the community because we're all here to support you.
Now, we did touch into talking about investing there, so I'm going to do a 20-second disclaimer, which is to say we are not financial advisors, we are not financially educated, we are
Regicated? Is that
regulated.
registered, regulated, and educated all in one?
The things. I know you knew what I meant. Not financially regulated. This is just our opinions, ideas. We're just trying to educate you and teach you how to think about money, do your own research, and
You are 100% responsible for your financial future. Yes, you, Dom and Alice.
That was in stereo then, wasn't it?
No, actually, it's everyone. You are all responsible for your financial future.
Can we
Okay,
get an X through this one?
we're Xing squared. Goodbye. Squared? Scared. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one, which is not me, it's you. And what that means is my partner isn't on board, I'm single, and it's really interesting. Both groups, the ones that say my partner is not on board and the ones that say I'm single, both feel as though they're doing this on their own. And that's actually the challenge. So we are going to do Donegans Unplugged and cover this one a little bit. If you have got your partner with you, we give you a round of applause for doing it together.
Are you clapping me? Because I'm with
It's a
you.
round of applause. Like it's so important to do it together on this stuff, but sometimes it's tough to get the partner on board. Maybe you don't even have one. So let's deal first with my partner isn't on board. Katie.
Well, I guess the thing that always comes to me when we say this is like, well, why should they get on board with you if you haven't taken the time to understand them? Like, why is it their job to get on board with you versus your job to kind of get on board with them? So I'm always about asking questions of your partner and being like, well, what would you do if you were forbidden from having a job? Or what did your parents teach you about money growing up? And ways to just start opening the conversation, not like going straight to ultimatum of like, do Rebel Finance School with me or it's over. Like, that's a little bit drastic. But I can understand the passion involved there. But it's like, why should they be on board with you if you haven't taken the time to understand them? And perhaps you have, but it's always remembering it's that two-way street and trying to understand them and where they're coming from as well.
The second part is whenever this happens, people go to their partner and go, I've watched Rebel Finance School. We need to track our finances. You need to reduce your spending. You need to do a spreadsheet. You need. I can see someone in the screen nodding, going, yes, that's what you did to me. That made me laugh so much. Yeah, Gary, starting a different way. But it's really amusing. That's what people do. And then it puts the other person off. What we actually have to start with is what's the vision? What's their vision? What life are you trying to create together? Where are you heading? And that will really, really make it far easier to do. And we're going to cover a lot of this stuff in week 5 to help you to do that. One of the main things I wanted to say here is if your partner isn't on board, it's all the more reason you need to do this as it's on you. And if you don't do it, like who is going to take charge? So like if one of you taking charge is better than none of you. Now, if you want to get your other partner on board, throw a watch party, get them their favorite meal, pour a glass of their favorite drink, put us on the big screen and ask them to watch the new bingeable TV show on YouTube.
He's talking a bit of like subterfuge here, Alan.
No, definitely, they'll love it. And then focus on that. We did want to say there are situations where you have a partner that really isn't good with the finances and you should protect yourself against that. And it's not a good place to end up, but it's better to realize it earlier. We had a special guest on last year's course that spoke about prenups, which are agreements about finances before you start. We actually, like, you don't really need that, but thinking like that is very, very useful. We went to a big conference, we watched his talk. It was actually the one that I was least looking forwards to. but he was fantastic and helped us to think differently about finances and how we run them together.
Yeah,
So we should definitely watch that.
he talks about how it's kind of like a merger of two people's finances and how to think about it and how to talk about money. It did an excellent job. And whether you feel like you need a prenup or not, that's not the point. The point is how you come together and figure out how you want to organize your finances together. It's very powerful stuff.
Yes, Beverly says the prenup course was fantastic. Yeah, he was excellent. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is I'm single. So I'm doing the finances on my own. My first question is, do you want a partner? Do you want another? Well, I wasn't suggesting you, but I could rent you Katie if you would like to.
Oh, that's a different business model, isn't it?
So I
Focus, Alan. So this course is not a dating course, so it won't fix that. There are other courses available.
there are other courses available.
But this is something that is like I've completely thrown now. This can be an advantage to be doing it on your own. And you just heard the opposite barrier, right? Of like, I want to do this with my partner, but they're not into it and they're like, might be going a different way and we're rowing in on opposite directions. If you're doing this on your own, you are 100% in control of your destiny. You don't have to drag your partner along with you. You don't have to try and get them on board because it's just you. And it can be way simpler that way. You've got more flexibility. You don't have to compromise with someone or figure out how you're going to approach things. You get to choose on your own. And that can be very empowering as well. And yes, there are disadvantages to doing it on your own, but there's also definitely disadvantages to trying to get on the same page with someone that you love, which we've just talked about on the flip side of it.
Exactly. And you don't have to have anyone in your life. You should live your life exactly the way you want to live it. And that doesn't mean you have to be alone on your financial journey. You can find a friend in the Facebook group. We have this fabulous group that watched the Rebel Finance School and eat cake together.
Yes, hi Beverly.
You can do it with other people and it doesn't have to be a partner. So we just wanted to let you know there are ways to do it and still have fun. And then someone needs to start Rebel Dating School at some stage.
Are you offering?
No. Okay.
So have we dealt with that barrier? What have we got, Ellen?
I think we've done okay. I think like I put my foot in my mouth a few times, but everyone still seems to be here.
It's a little bit dodgy, wasn't it, there for a while?
It was, but we've survived. This was the prenup talk with Aaron Thomas. The link's been in the chat. It's well worth watching. He's very good. That's us on our wedding day showing you our new wedding rings. So what you need to say on this one, no matter whether you're doing it alone or how you're doing it, is I've got this. I can do this on my own. I decide my future. I'll invite my partner to come on a journey with me. I will focus on the advantages I have, not the problems I have, and I will turn my challenges into questions. And I will not stop until I have solved my finances.
I feel like empowered and let's do this, Alan. Are we going to put an X through that one?
Yes, it's not me, it's you, it's over, goodbye. And then the final one is I'm too old.
So the things that we hear from people are, well, it's too late for me, I've missed the opportunity, I don't have time for compounding to work, I don't have long left.
Which is let's focus on what we do have. But what we wanted to do is Katie created a chart, which we're very excited about.
So I just wanted to show you the age demographic of those of you that are coming along to the course this year. So under 45s, we have 36%. And 45 and over, 64%. So nearly 2/3 of you are over 45. And the question really is, like, why would we bother doing the course if we really did think it was too late for you if you are above a certain age? And I just wanted to show you within that age range of the 45 plus, 37% of you are 45 to 54, 24%. So a quarter of you are 55 to 64, and then a small number of you, 3%, are 65 plus. But in the thousands of people that are signed up for the course, that's still a chunk of people. You're not alone. We're all in this together. And this, like, the demographic of who's coming along are people that are, approaching traditional retirement age.
Exactly. And I have a test so that you can know whether it's too late for you. Pick up your phone and breathe on it. If it fogs up, you're still alive and it's not too late. That's the test. Because you can always improve your finances. Always. It is never too late to improve your finances. And we truly believe that and will help you with it. Last Monday, we did a prep session, which was with two podcasters, Bill and Jackie from Catching Up to Fi. And the entire subject of that prep session was about, is it too late for me or can I make progress? So here's the summary of this one. I can improve my situation. It's never too late. I create change. I will be the change I want to see in others. So you can help inspire other people by creating change in you, and you have an amazing community to support you.
I did want to say, like, we've sped through that one, despite it being the one that a lot of people have, because we did that episode with Bill and Jackie. So I really encourage you to go back and watch that one if you haven't already. They've both got really inspiring stories of how they've worked on their personal finances.
Exactly. So that's the final barrier. We've got our closing message coming up for you. But the final one, I'm too old. Definitely not. You are not too old. We can do this. Now, if you haven't signed up to the course, if you just found us on YouTube, do sign up to the course. You'll get the course notes, the emails, and all of the other stuff.
This is the Facebook group.
Well, I should have put that one up for that one. So this is the course sign up page. You can actually sign up to the course. You'll get all the emails, course notes, resources, calculators, spreadsheets that Katie and the ninjas have created. So if you haven't signed up yet, scan the QR code, put your email address in, and we will send you all the stuff. The second bit we wanted to talk to you about is the Facebook group. That's the community to go to. We can't answer all of the questions you have got. We try our hardest.
You mean the two of us?
The two of us, yeah. But the Facebook group, there are 27,000 members there who are all positive and wanting to help you. They are amazing. So we've got the Facebook group, the course, and then finally the YouTube channel. We never remember to say this, so please, on the YouTube channel, please hit subscribe, hit a like, give us a comment. It means a lot, and it actually shows Facebook that this is valuable content, and they might share it with a few. It actually shows YouTube that this is valuable content, and they might send it to a few more people, which would make our day, because our mission is to help as many people as possible get on top of their finances. So please hit subscribe and like for us on that. Katie, what's coming up this week?
Coming up this week, we have two sessions. So tomorrow, Monday, 2nd of June at 8 o'clock UK time, we have week 1 of Rebel Finance School, which is all about the gap. Creating a gap and figuring out how to get ahead with your money. It all starts then. If you're watching this on Catch Up, you'll just be able to, later in the year, you'll just be able to find that session.
And we are super excited about that one, because we've completely rewritten week 1 on our new learnings from writing the book. We've had so much fun. We've spent all week working on that.
Yeah. And then secondly, on Wednesday this week, so this is very important. Normally we have the Q&A sessions on a Thursday. This week and this week alone, it is on Wednesday, because we accidentally double booked ourselves and we're going to a Marvel concert on the Thursday. So that's completely our fault. I got a wow from Katrina there.
Yeah, she's kind of shocked at that.
So normally it's a Thursday. This week and this week alone, it will be on Wednesday. That's when you can come along, ask us all your questions, and hang out.
So the closing message, we want you to remember, you are braver than you believe. You are stronger than you seem. You are smarter than you think. And you are more loved than you will ever know. You've got this. We believe in you. And this is the beginning of an adventure. And what an amazing adventure it is going to be. So let's go on a financial adventure together and create incredible change. Thank you so much for coming to Rebel Finance School this week. It has been an absolute craziness journey. We've had a huge amount of fun. If you've still got barriers, if you've still got challenges, if you're still not sure, Facebook group it, talk to us, send messages. Let's deal with this together. We have absolutely loved hanging out with you. So YouTube people, we are going to say goodnight to you over at YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube. Please share this with someone you think that needs it. Hit like, hit subscribe. It will make our day. And we love you all, YouTubers. Good night, YouTubers.
YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube. Okay, we are off.